laughing already. Hi, I'm Erin Davis.
I'm Lisa Brandt, and this is Gracefully and Frankly.
Sure is, episode 118. And why are we laughing? Didn't you used to hate it when you'd tune in a radio show and people were coming off a commercial or some Sarah McLachlan very sad song, and they'd be laughing and you're going, what am I missing?
Right.
Let's get right to it.
Well, as long as they explained it. I had my passport pictures taken this morning.
Oh.
And I look like Tales from the Crypt. It's horrific, Erin. Like, it's not just bad. No one likes their passport photo because you can't smile and the light is harsh and everything.
Right.
Mine looks like they're trying to analyze my skin or something. And you know, I always have dark circles under my eyes and tried everything. It's genetic and there's nothing I can do about it. Well, I put cover stick on, not with this lighting. I've got big dark circles underneath. And to add insult to injury, the guy that took the photo.
Oh, no.
So, you know the little loop inside your shirt to hang your shirt up on or whatever if it's kind of delicate?
Yeah.
So my little loop is hanging out.
Oh, jeez.
And he didn't say anything. So I look like, of course, I look miserable because I can't smile. I've got the dark circles and the loop, and I've got to live with that for 10 years. I just can't believe it.
You can't get redos, huh?
Well, the thing is, it's free because I'm a CAA member and all this kind of stuff. And I just grabbed them and walked out. I've talked to this guy a bunch of times. I thought maybe he had a modicum of sense, and it turns out he doesn't. So I just stuffed them in the envelope and off they went. So.
Oh, no, you sent them already? Lisa, I'd have marched into Shoppers Drug Mart, paid Edna, gotten the photos.
Yeah, I just sent it, and I thought, you know what? I'll live with it. I just want it over with.
It'll be good for the podcast. Come on, that's what you thought.
But now I have to share the photo, don't I? And if it wasn't me, I might want to be tempted to make a meme out of it or something. And I don't want it to go anywhere. I just don't want it.
Yeah, don't go viral with this one.
Goodness.
Okay, so here's a suggestion. You had a brother-in-law who passed away, Dave, right? Who was the artist. So is there anybody else in your family who can do kind of a caricature and you can put that up? Like, always lean into making fun of ourselves, right? It's what we do.
Sure. That's a very good idea. Yeah, that's what I'll do.
I'm sorry. I have to laugh. You're going to be laughing at me a little later on. We got a lot of stuff to tell you about here today. It's a jam-packed show as we kick off spring. Yay! The new season began in the wee hours this morning, so happy spring. Oh, and remind me to tell you an egg trick that Rob used to do on the first day of spring. These days, the egg trick is just posting online that you've got them.
Yes.
Because the U.S. is asking other countries to give them their eggs. I think if they just lined up at the border, we could throw them a few.
Well, I have noticed that a bunch of online people who usually share recipes are sharing egg substitutes.
Of course.
A little bit of flax and water or whatever, all those things. And it makes perfect sense right now.
Yeah, it absolutely does. And what else makes sense on this day is not spring cleaning per se, because who does their cleaning on a Thursday? Well, if you are listening while you're cleaning, good for you.
Yeah.
But there's something called energy hygiene, and this is a really good time of year to maybe put it into effect.
Energy hygiene. Okay. Am I going into some sort of hyperbaric chamber or something? What's the deal?
No. All you have to do is organize your closet. Look at what you didn't wear this winter. Get rid of it. Your winter clothes, of course. Clean out your fridge. Oh, I did that too. Another story for you. Delete old texts. Oh my gosh, Lisa. So I was recording that hockey game for Rob I told you about back on February 20th. And all of a sudden I find out, I am jammed to the hilt with texts and videos and photos. So my big job was cleaning them all out. And it's easy to do. Yeah. Refresh your playlists. If you're still listening to Sexy and I Know It and it isn't really your jam anymore, just update it with something that you do like. Put in the new Gaga or something like that. Edit your morning routine. I like my morning routine. I stay in bed till Rob brings me coffee and then I decide whether to get up.
I like your morning routine too, but it's a little far for Rob to come to bring me coffee, so.
It is. And make room for clarity so your next chapter has space to unfold.
You know, it's true. You make a very, very good point right there. How people hang on to, in the voiceover industry, we talk about clients, and sometimes there's just a really bad client. Mm-hmm. And people are afraid to let them go because it's money in the bank or whatever. But if they're mistreating you and not paying you for months and all that kind of thing, you let them go. You make room for something better. Always.
Speaking of something better, isn't it nice to see Dina Pugliese is coming back to breakfast television in Toronto and Montreal? I guess it's shown in other cities, too. I love Dina.
Obviously, she's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
How wonderful is that? She probably sent them a long list of things saying, I'm enjoying my life, I'm having fun, but if you do this, and good for her because that doesn't happen too often. It usually happens to somebody, I don't know, after they've been fired and then they're asked back. But if you know who I'm talking about.
No, can't think of anyone off the top of my head. And she's co-executive producer, so that tells me she's not going to get pushed around by either the insanity of the politics on the set or anything like that anymore. So you go, Dina. She is as good a person as you would want her to be.
Nice. Yeah, I'm happy for her. It's wonderful when good things happen to good people.
Yeah, it really is. Of course, she goes back to the crazy sleeping hours, which brings us to sleep hygiene. That is so important to making sure that your room is quiet enough or the right temperature. And maybe this is when you get yourself a real grown-up pillow.
Yeah, the NV pillow, ENVY. And you will see immediately why we love this pillow so much. The support it gives your neck, the way it keeps your face from getting all smushed and yet gives you full support if you're a side sleeper. And it just has so many wonderful benefits, including copper infusion. And copper has been proven to cut down, way down, on bacteria and do really good things for your skin, too.
Yeah. I have an idea. Because we're such good partners with Kathy and Kim at Envy Pillow, you send them your passport picture and it's a before. What do you think?
Oh, no. Oh, my goodness. I'll send them the drawing.
Okay. Go to Envy Pillow, ENVY pillow.com. Use the code GF for 10% off.
You might not like this, but I'm going to drop some facts on you about charging your phone.
Oh, wait, let me check and see what mine's at right now. Ooh,
okay.
96%. We'd better hurry this up. I've got to get to a charger.
Okay, so it's not plugged in at the moment, even though it's so low at 96%.
Mm-hmm.
So the Toronto Star, give them props. They did this checking with all these experts about phones, including going right to the source, Apple, Samsung, Google, all those people. Now, did you know that your Apple phone will learn how you charge, and if you're going up to 100 all the time, it will slow you down when it's charging so you're not always at 100? Is your phone charging more slowly?
I haven't noticed. I keep it plugged in almost all the time, Lisa. Okay. It's like my life support. I don't know. It's a sickness. Okay, but tell me more. It'll charge more slowly if I keep it high all the time. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, one of the reasons for that is there's a sweet spot for optimal battery life, and that's to stay between, brace yourself, 20 and 80%.
Oh, my God.
So it used to be when we first got phones, they'd say, let it go down to 0. It's good for the battery. That's not true anymore at all. But letting it run down sometimes for optimal long life, it's good for it, because one of the other things I learned by reading this article is that we look at these batteries wrong. We look at them like they are a pitcher of water draining and we're going to fill more water in.
Yeah.
That's not how they work. It's the chemistry that changes. So the volume of it doesn't change, just the chemistry changes. And by charging them, we are changing the chemistry again. So it's not like we're pouring more stuff into it. It's really fascinating and way over my head. The other thing that they said is heat is bad for batteries. So experts don't like wireless charging because it transfers heat to the battery. But, for example, the second we get into Derek's vehicle, he's got his phone on the wireless charger.
Right.
And he's another one who loves it up to 100 all the time.
Yeah.
But apparently it's better for it to let it go down 50, 75% once in a while, not to keep it at 100.
All right, that is my spring resolution. I am going to try and let my phone get down to 40. Will you take 40?
Are you really? Wow, that's amazing. I thought if you were going to even say 80, that would be huge.
No, I'll go down to 40, but I won't go any lower.
Okay.
Don't try and talk me down, Lisa.
How low will she go?
So there have been a couple of really interesting words that have come up the last little while. Have you ever had to Google what, like NSFW or any of those tags that you see on things are on social media?
Yeah, sometimes repeatedly because they don't stick.
Right. And NSFW is not safe for work, meaning
Right.
if somebody sends you a video, it's going to be a stand-up comic who's just spitting the swear words and stuff. But there are a few other words that we've seen lately, especially with political campaigns ramping up here north of the border, like astroturfing. Do you know what astroturfing is?
Is it kind of like trolling, throwing something out there just to light a fire and then run away, or some sort of incendiary remark on social media, or am I way off?
No, it says it's the deceptive practice of presenting an orchestrated marketing or public relations campaign that is supposed to look like unsolicited comments from members of the public.
Oh my goodness, much deeper than I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
Can you give me an example of that maybe, or how this might go?
Well, last week I was seeing something about Carney that made me go, wait, I haven't heard that from any reputable news source. So I looked it up, and sure enough, it wasn't a thing. So it was this concerted effort from a bot farm or somewhere in Russia, because these things actually exist. It's not as foil hat as you think it sounds. They do exist.
Yeah.
And they're part of the reason why Trudeau was turfed and astroturfed, because there was so much organized online hatred. And there was the stuff he did that people genuinely didn't like. Let's not put on rose-colored glasses. So it's a genuine campaign to spread this out far and wide. And all you have to do is re-thread it or retweet it or whatever, if anybody is still on that hated X site. So that's what it is.
So this whole coordinated effort to make it seem like Carney is in office illegally.
Right.
Okay,
Yeah.
is really just meant to stir people up and get disinformation out there.
Yeah, and what I can't get over is the guy who campaigned on, axe the tax. Now that the carbon tax is gone, they're angry. They're not going to get their rebate checks.
I know.
I can't make any sense of it, Lisa.
You can't win. There has to be something negative and everything positive. I don't get it. But anyway.
Okay. Getting off of that, astroturfing, that's what it is. Watch for it. If someone is commenting on something you've posted, just go take a look at them. There's a chance there's no picture and there's 3 or 4 followers, and it's probably just all part of that little cabal, okay? Gaslighting. Of course, we've heard of gaslighting for the past 10 years. And I actually saw yesterday on social media, people were listing the things they never want to hear again, like, didn't have that on my bingo card.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, stop that. But gaslighting, the reason we're hearing about it is because it's still happening so frequently.
Right. Gaslighting is trying to make a person feel that something didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Or a nation.
Yes.
Or a planet.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Like the January 6th uprising in D.C., it wasn't a mob, an angry mob. They were happy tourists, just like the ones who were torching the Tesla dealerships. They're only tourists, Lisa.
Right.
So that's gaslighting. But there is a way to turn gaslighting into something called green lighting. And we came across this, and sometimes people will gaslight you in your own life.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's happening, or you don't recognize what that feeling is. But if I say to you, Lisa, you're too dramatic, that's not what happened.
Right. So you're invalidating my experience because I believe that's the way it happened, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then
Yeah.
green lighting would be, I don't remember it that way, but tell me how you saw it and let's discuss it.
Yeah, and that happens a lot among siblings.
Right.
Because we all experience our parents differently, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's not what happened. No, what you want to say is, I don't remember it that way.
Right.
You're so selfish for wanting time to yourself. Everything isn't all about you, is it?
Well, in my life it is. But no, so then it would be, okay, I understand you need some time to yourself. Let's figure it out together instead of fighting about it.
Right. How we can work best as a team and you still get your time. And then there's this one. Well, your problems aren't real problems. Focus on your work, your relationship, your studies, whatever, and you'll be fine.
Ugh.
Telling somebody their problems aren't real problems. They're real enough to them, right?
Well, that's just it. And that's what empathy is for. You don't have to be experiencing it yourself to understand and believe and be kind about someone else experiencing it.
Exactly. So we're going to try green lighting instead of gaslighting.
I think it's a great idea. Hey, there's another word that I heard. I don't know if you've been hearing it much, but somebody I know said that they got involved in a throuple.
A throuple. Sounds like fisticuffs in the Costco parking lot.
Well,
what is it?
I don't know how they define it, but instead of being in a couple, they're in a throuple. So it's 3 people.
Oh.
Now, from what I've seen, and I've seen very little of this is a desperate attempt to hang on to a relationship that usually doesn't work. However, let's invite the waitress that I think is cute into our relationship. Well, I don't know.
Oh.
Anyway, not to disparage waitresses.
No, not at all.
But yeah, so this friend is now in a throuple. So apparently it's going very well, and I don't know how it works.
Go back to two's company, three's a crowd. Somebody is going to end up on the floor.
Come and knock on our door.
Yeah. I mean, I have to take you to last week's Dateline, Lisa, where always go back to Dateline. She's in a marriage with a guy. She invites her friend to join the marriage, or does he? And then the first woman ends up dead. And anyway, I won't tell you how it ended. It was just, the whole thing was just really, blech. But somebody is going to end up with their nose at a joint or something else if you're too active. But anyhow, I don't think it can work out, but I don't know.
No, maybe we're just not with it, ma'am. We're not hep to the times, and we just don't see the possibilities.
Not talking like that, we're not. Jeez. It's like trying to ask, am I cool?
Yeah, exactly. If you have to ask.
I don't think so, but that's our culture. You know, there are some people who have multiple wives and they somehow make it work out. And then you end up on Dateline.
Right.
So
yeah.
Good luck with your throuple, y'all. Jeez. Oh, and by the way, this isn't really you and Derek, is it? Are you keeping this on the down low?
No,
Okay.
heck no. No way. Hey, you know, this is my 3rd marriage, but that doesn't make it a throuple.
Oh, okay. Thanks for clarifying that. While we're talking about awkwardness, you know, I talk about Sierra Sil here every week. They are a valued client, but I did something so stupid with Sierra Sil the other night. And as I was ooching and ouching, I said to Rob, okay, I'm going to tell it on the podcast. So brace yourself.
Okay.
All right. You know, Sierra Sil, first off, are joint formula capsules, but they also have a little spray, and it's menthol, and it's eucalyptus, and it's got a nice little spicy heat, and you put it on problem areas. Rob does it every time he goes out to play hockey, and probably sprays them in my direction because I'm a problem area too. Okay, so I had a little acne breakout near my mouth, as we do in our 60s because life is not fair.
Right.
And I'm trying to get rid of these before my hair appointment later today. So I'm in the little powder room that we call his bathroom because that's all he gets. And I am seated on the commode and I see his Sierra Sil spray. And I think, well, this is a good idea. So I spray a little bit on a little corner of toilet paper and I put it up on the problem area. Now, nowhere does it say you're supposed to put this stuff on a zit. Okay? I don't know. I just felt, because it's warm at my work. So I did that. And then being cheap as I am, I thought, well, I'm not getting rid of that toilet paper. So,
oh no,
I did. I got 2 more squares, put them around the squares that had the hot spray on it, and then, wipe. And then, holy crap.
Oh my goodness.
It was Fire Island. So I came out of the bathroom and I said to Rob, okay, I just did something really stupid. And then I told him and he said, well, go use the bidet because we have one of those. So I did. And eventually it went from hot to cold because that's what it does on your skin. I'm sorry. Oh, God. Oh, I'm so stupid. It's just one of those what the hell were you thinking moments.
Well, you're not so stupid. People do stuff like that. I don't know about stuff exactly like that, but I told you about the time I put the ghost peppers up my nose. Come on. I mean, we do things.
Oh, my God. Yeah, but you didn't put them in
No.
non-sunny regions.
I have good news about Sierra Sil being used the way it's supposed to be used.
Oh, yes, go on.
My left knee has been a problem for years, and I've had it x-rayed. I have arthritis. I have all sorts of stuff going on with it. I've been doing Sierra Sil now for how long?
About 2 weeks?
Yeah, about that. And I have nothing in that knee. Not a whimper, not a twinge, zero.
Holy.
And this is brand spanking new, my dear.
Oh, that's wonderful. I shouldn't sound surprised because I know it works.
Yeah.
But that's wonderful. Keep us posted. Which color label do you use?
I use the green with the glucosamine, yeah.
Join Formula 14. Use the code GF. Get 14% off anything at sierrasil.com. Yay!
Just don't sit on it.
Oh, God. So while we're talking about your health, I was so excited about this, I sent it to both my sisters in BC. The government here, starting next year, is going to be covering the costs of hormone replacement therapy. Yay! Because it's so expensive. And diabetes medication.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yes, so that was really exciting. And of course, right now, people are very concerned about measles. And we got a message from Denise Clancy Turner. Thanks for reaching out to us, Denise, because I confirmed exactly what you said when we talked to our pharmacist.
Adults born before January 1st, 1970, who are not healthcare workers, are assumed to have acquired immunity to measles from natural infections.
Now, initially, we had some different numbers last week,
right.
But this is we spoke to our pharmacist from the BC CDC, and he said, if you're born before January 1st, 1970, and you're not a healthcare worker, then assume that you're okay.
Yeah.
Because we were going to get the shot. But there's some more information for you.
Terrific.
We also got a great call this week to our gracefullyandfrankly.com webpage. Listen to what she has to ask us and what your answer might be, because we've been thinking about it, okay? Here we go.
Hi, Erin and Lisa. It's Nancy from Vancouver Island. Loved last week's podcast. Because you two are always really good at discussing things back and forth, here's a little one that you might be interested in. A friend of mine moved back to Ontario and she moved into a retirement home. She's very youthful in her 80s and people there are 70s, 80s, 90s. And a couple of nights ago, she was all ready for bed. It was about 9:30 and there was a ding, ding, ding out in the hallway and someone knocking at her door. And there was kind of an obligatory guard of honor because another resident had died that evening. That resident was being taken out by the funeral home and the residents were supposed to gather and do kind of a guard of honor. And my friend thought that maybe when she'd signed her lease and so on, she might have signed some paperwork saying that she would do that. But, signing it and then actually doing it 9:30 one night when you're all ready for bed and then walking back to your room kind of lonely and contemplating death and people you're living with and you could be next and all those things. I'd be interested to know what you think about it, if you've ever heard of anything like this. Thanks so much. It's a real bright light in the week when Gracefully and Frankly drops. Take care. Bye for now.
Well, we're so glad you found us, Nancy, and thanks for listening. That is an unusual tradition. I looked around online to find out where else they do this. And there's a home in PEI, there's one in Nova Scotia, but it doesn't seem like a widespread thing to draw everyone out when someone dies at a retirement or long-term care home, although it's suggested by some bereavement specialists that it's a good idea. But I have to tell you, Erin, when my mom died, the last thing I would have wanted was a bunch of people coming out and watching us leave. We were devastated. We were crying. Her little body was, wrapped up. I just think it's kind of an odd thing to ask people to do. What do you think?
I'm on the fence about this one. I'm trying to picture if it was my dad, which it's not yet. I will say that he's holding his own. But I think it's lovely. And I have in mind an episode of The Pit, which everybody's talking about these days on Crave, where a patient who is brain dead is going to be donating his organs, and all the staff and his friends and those who love him gather in the hallways and the corridors as he's being rolled away to the OR. So that is an honor march. That's a beautiful, beautiful thing.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Because they all see what it's like when so many viable organs are buried when people could have been helped.
Exactly. But I think what Nancy's friend had a problem with was kind of like getting knocked out of a good sleep and then going back and pondering your own mortality. Ew. Yeah, I'm really on the fence about this.
The home where I volunteer, people seem to know when someone has died, I guess probably because of the rumor mill. It's not a very big place, and everybody gets to know everybody. So, of course, it all goes around, but they don't do that. It's sad. It doesn't really help anybody, I don't think. The family, I know some families have said that it makes them feel like their loved one was loved and cared for. But I can just tell you, in my case, with my dad and my mom, I wouldn't have wanted it. And it wouldn't make any difference to them at that point.
Right.
But I can certainly understand being quiet and having your evening to yourself and then being roused and feeling like you need to go out and do this. That would defeat the purpose too, right?
Yeah. Well, I guess it's up to the individual. I don't know.
It is. I can only imagine, though, that if at a home of some sort, if nobody wanted to do it, they would certainly say something. But yeah, it's not totally widespread yet. Maybe it's just starting to catch on. I have no idea.
I don't know.
Hey, what? You were going to tell us about eggs.
Oh, right. This is the day, and I don't know, Lisa, you could be able to do it tomorrow or the day after, where Rob would always, and trust me, it's not a great radio gag, but when he was producing the morning radio show on a Toronto station, every spring he would place an egg on its end and it would stay there.
Huh.
Apparently, you can do this on the vernal equinox because of the pull of the asteroids. I have no idea. But anyway, you can try that for your kids or grandkids if you want, because we're Canadian. We have eggs we can just drop on the floor.
That's right. It's just a big yoke to us.
Yeah, and this ties in earlier with the gaslighting thing, too. Eggs and gaslighting. You see how we bring it all together to bring it on home? So when I got home, like almost 2 weeks ago, we got to the condo and Rob was beside himself with excitement to show me all the things he had done to make this place feel like home. Because when we left in November, it looked like a loading dock. There was a car carrier on the living room floor. There were boxes everywhere. He worked so hard to put things in their places, to get rid of things. So one of the things he did was organize the kitchen. So I'm coming home. I have no idea where anything is. And you know me, I generally don't in the kitchen anyway. But in this case, I had an idea where things were before we left. No idea. So I feel like I'm being gaslit, Lisa.
Oh.
So part of the fun is also finding stuff in the fridge. So I look in the fridge and there's 2 cartons of eggs and there's one on the bottom. So I figure, well, okay, I better use this one. So I was going to make eggs the other night for dinner and I cracked one. Nothing. And I look in it, and it's solid in the shell. And I go, okay, well, that must have had a hole in it. Too bad. Throw it down into the incinerator. Get another one. Same thing. And I sniff it. No smell. Nothing.
Wow.
Well, I went back to the carton. There were about 4 left. And I thought, well, I guess these are all bad. And then I looked at the stamp on the carton, and it said 2022.
What?
Yeah, it was a couple of fridges ago, and definitely a house ago.
And it moved from the other house and came.
Yeah.
Oh, Erin, you and your best before dates.
I know.
That is too funny. Oh, that's funny.
It moved from the fridge to a backup fridge to our kitchen here fridge. But that's my egg story. And I threw them out. Aren't you proud of me? I did throw them out. I don't think there was anything wrong with them. They were just a little bit solid.
You didn't want to get a chisel out and make something out of them. Oh, I'm surprised you didn't have chicks. I guess it was a little too cold in there.
Maybe it was.
Man.
Well, we know that you are a good egg also, and we love that you're going to gracefullyandfrankly.com and accessing this show there. Yay. And also doing a bit of shopping, too. You found a happy customer for some jewelry this past week.
Oh, yes. A woman who bought herself a pendant a while back, loved it so much, she bought one for each of 3 friends that she hasn't seen in a while as a way to sort of get their friendship back and to get them communicating again. And it was just the sweetest thing. I thought it was fantastic.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It is. And you can do that at gracefullyandfrankly.com. The T-shirts there, too.
They come in all sizes, and we are the rare and also very Canadian retailer who does not upcharge for XL, XXL, and so on. That's a benefit to you, and we're happy to pass it along.
And send us a voicemail just by clicking voicemail and then the little microphone. That's it. It's so simple now.
Yep, that's what Nancy did.
Yeah.
Check it all out at gracefullyandfrankly.com. And in the meantime, have a wonderful spring, Miss Lisa.
You betcha. And we will talk to you again next week, if not before.
Okay.
Yeah.